Many of you have probably already heard about the Jacksonville video game tournament shooting, but you may not have seen the expected reaction from Tariq Woke Nasheed on Twitter here. And he did what he did, always does best. This is what he tweeted out. The first person who was targeted and shot the Jacksonville Man Tournament Massacre just happened to be a black man with a capital B. Tariq, you were doing what you always do best, which is make everything about race. Maybe, just maybe, this guy was spurging out over losing a video game and decided to shoot at random, which is what he fucking did. And what's this? What's this? One of his victims is white. There have been 3 victims, I think, in total, but one of them is white. He's a very awful white supremacist, isn't he? Which is what you're implying. He's a pretty bad white supremacist if he's killing a white guy. Tariq, you're an idiot. You're making everything about race. And top it, off with icing on the cake, this fucking guy was a diehard Trump hater. He was a social justice warrior. Doesn't fit my narrative, doesn't it? But it's funny how you have to spin it around and turn everything about race. Are you saying that these progressives have some racists in them? Or did you ignore this or haven't been, seen it yet? He called people Trump tards. This guy was a flaming SJW. Isn't that the opposite of what Nazis are? Or so I've been told by the progressive left. And I do appreciate people like Miels Chong for not naming the guy and calling him bitch boy like Count Danko suggested, so we don't fucking turn this guy into a celebrity. To turn this loser into somebody. To make him a celebrity would be harming society and adding fuel to the fire. But Tariq wasn't going to stop there, was he? He just couldn't stop tweeting, yesterday. He says, suspected white supremacist gamers don't make this Jacksonville tragedy about race. Am I a suspected white supremacist for saying that now? It's a pretty broad generalization there, Tariq. I wouldn't want you stereotyping. Suspected white supremacist gamers equal log into online games and say the N-word 200 times a day. Tariq, just because somebody's saying the N-word doesn't mean they're racist. If I'm reading a passage of Huck Finn which has the N-word frequently in it, over 200 times, does that make me a racist? PewDiePie used the N-word. Now it's just because he was, angry and he just sort of used like a curse word. The intent behind it wasn't to be racist. The intent behind it wasn't to hurt people. He was just mad. He said a word. I mean, how people act. Sometimes we say silly things. Like you, Tariq. But he doesn't end there. Like I said, he just couldn't keep his fucking thumbs off his phone. A few months ago, different white supremacist groups were warning each other, and that I was coming to another gaming convention to expose them. Sure you were. Slamming onto these extremists within the gaming community. Unfortunately, one of them carried out an attack today in Jacksonville. He's not a fucking white supremacist. A fucking social justice warrior. And a fucking mentally ill person. Okay, Tariq? There are not that many white supremacists in this country, and I bet there's very few in the gaming community. The gaming community has a lot of actually liberal people in it, and a lot of people that used to be actually liberal but became sort of center-left after Gamergate. They got woken up to all this bullshit, which is probably what you're feeding into here. It's not helpful, Tariq. Not helpful. There's not these white supremacists everywhere, and I bet these people that were freaking out that you come to their convention were white supremacists. I can almost bet that thousands of dollars. It was probably just center lefties and center righties that were post Gamergate people that were upset and annoyed with your social justice bullshit. And of course, he continues his identity politics. Do they ever call it terrorism when the suspect is a white identity extremist? Yeah, but we use terrorism in a very strange, specific sense in today's society where it has to do with Islamic terrorist attacks. That's what we consider terrorism because it has a political motive. Does this have a political motive? No, it doesn't. At least, unless he was targeting Trump supporters, because the guy called him Trump tards, maybe he ate Trump supporters. Obviously, it's not what he was doing. But my point is, that would be considered terrorism. What the guy? Did you call the guy that shot at Rand Paul and shot all his other senators and also and shot actually Steve Scalise and wounded him for months. Did you call him a terrorist, Tariq? Because that's literally terrorism. That had a political motive and it was violent. That was terrorism. The Jacksonville shooting suspect is a white identity extremist. That's not true. He's a fucking SJW from the Baltimore area. He shot a black gamer first because the black gamer won a game over him. Tariq! You were just saying, oh, he just happened to be black by implying that he shot him because he was black. But you're literally saying he shot him because the gamer won a game over him. That's the fucking reason. He didn't just like, oh, fuck this. I'm gonna go, and shoot all these black people. That's not what he was doing. He went, fuck this. They all beat me in this game. I'm gonna fucking shoot him. It's crazy. There's no rationale to it. But you're fucking literally saying the reason right here, but in the previous tweet, you're making about fucking race. Then he shot several others. Yes, he did, which were white. It looks premeditated. True, possibly. Why else would you bring a gun to a game convention? I mean, yeah, that's, a valid question. I mean, you could argue self-defense, but, I'm just shocked they didn't have metal detectors here or anything. I'm shocked at what happened, how it happened. Well, this is the last tweet from good old Tariq. They got fucking over 1,000 likes, too. Authorities finally identified white identity extremists, and I'm not going to, Bitch Boy of Baltimore as the shooter in the Jacksonville Madden convention. This is not a gun control issue. I fucking agree, but I know where you're going to take this to a race issue. The problem is the gaming community provides platform for these types of extremists to fester anonymously. Well, Tariq, maybe we should then, I don't know, get rid of all the social justice warriors. Because that's what this guy was. That's an extremist, isn't it, Tariq? Guess we should get rid of all them. We should get rid of you, too. You're pretty fucking extreme with your woke commentary here. I consider that extreme, so I guess we should, you're the problem here. My point in that thought experiment there is that he's generalizing so many rational people as extremists, because I know what he's talking about. He's talking about these Gamergate people. They're fed up with social justice warriors ruining their video games for their social justice narrative, and he's lumping this crazy guy into this group that he thinks is a big, boogeyman, when it's not. This guy was a mentally ill, crazy social justice warrior that's a fucking loser. A loser. A weak imbecile. We should mock him. We should not share his name like you just did. We should call him Bitch Boy. He'll always be remembered as Bitch Boy because he's a bitch boy. And don't show his picture. Got it? This is a cultural problem. This is a mental health problem. There's many things. Maybe a drug problem too. I wonder if this guy's on antidepressants. So we all have to look at him. Let's discuss this. But stop making about fucking race when it isn't. You, Tariq, are the problem. Please stop.